Well, hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Chris here from Finland Mennonite Church, back for another session of Midweek Musings. This time where we just slow down and remind ourselves of one truth from the previous week's sermon. Now, this past week, we were still in the book of Isaiah, still focusing on deep longings of Advent. The one we were focused on this past week was joy. And we saw in Scripture how, just like peace, joy is something we can carry with us regardless of our circumstances or the situation we find ourselves in. Now, if you're like me, you don't always remember that in the moment. And so it had me thinking, had me musing, what kind of a everyday item that maybe we're using right now could help us remind us of this wonderful truth. And you know what? It had me think of this. A thermos. Like a thermos. Yeah, what happens with a thermos? Well, I heat up something like hot chocolate, and then I take it off the primary heat source and I stick it in here and I close the top. And you know what? That hot chocolate stays warm for a really long time. Or maybe I have soup that I heated up. I'm going to eat later. I stick it in here and I could get up very early in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock, heat up some soup, stick it in this. And at 1 o'clock, I open it up and it's still steaming. Right? The soup, even though it was taken from its heat source, the thermos allowed it to stay warm in spite of what else might be going on around it. Maybe it's sitting in air conditioning. Maybe it's cold outside. But the thermos keeps the soup, keeps the hot chocolate, keeps whatever we stick in here warm, right? And that is our reminder that in the same way, when we walk God's path, yeah, things might be going wrong around us. Things might not be going how we hoped they would or intended they would. But if we stay on God's paths, listening to His word, doing things His ways, there's going to be a joy and a peace deep within us that will carry us through no matter what. So use a thermos, and as you do, remember the wonderful truth. God's peace, God's joy is available for us no matter the circumstances. Have a blessed week.